No. The problem with Gen Z, let's take it. Let's tukubali. I am a millennial. We are almost the same na Gen Z. We have the same problems. Gen Zs, they are much more vocal. But all ideas as a Gen Zs, we had them, but we are a bit scared. Gen Z wajali. They speak. Shida ni our generation, the generation that now is Gen Z. There are no men raising these people.
So where are the men?
There are no men raising these people.
Where are the men?
Now, if you check...
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Real Talk with Nikki, and we are here at the NaiWave studios along Gong Road. We also hire the studio space, so if you're interested, the number is in all our socials. You can DM us and you can call us, give us a call, give us a shout out. Yes, and today on our show we have very interesting guests. I want them to say hi before we dive into our topic today. Karibuni sana. So, ladies or gents? Ladies first.
Let's be equitable. The gents first. Lest they say the boy child is being left behind.
Okay, if you insist. My name is Joel, and I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for coming back. It's your second time. Karibu sana.
My name is Samantha. Second time also. Yeah.
Karibuni sana. So today we're going to be discussing men's and women's mental health. They are very controversial topics. So I'm going to do a little bit of opposite asking questions. So Joel, what's your take on women's mental health?
I think it's becoming a big problem. I have a lot of female friends and siblings. Yeah, I see a big problem. It's not as severe as the men's, because the men's is on a different level. But for women, it's more common to find women suffering from this. Even average women just going through a lot. But yeah, I think it's something worth taking time to talk about.
Okay. Yeah. Samantha, what's your take on men's mental health?
I have so many, but he started out with so nicely. So I'm not gonna say the spicier take. I'm going to say what I do generally think.
Yeah.
I think with men's mental health, it's multi-layered. There's certainly a need for them to address some of the issues arising. But at the same time, there's the culture of them being silenced. And also at the same time, there's also their fellow men enforcing that culture of them being silent and strong. So it's so complicated, and it's also very hard for them to reach out for that help and to help themselves. But I think it's important. I think they should invest a bit more in their mental health and a bit less into the patriarchy. So a bit less spicy.
You have a feedback for her. You invest more on your mental health than your patriarchy.
Yeah, I think so. But with different methods. I think men handle their problems differently than women. Women can sit down and talk and solve problems. Men talking might not be enough. Yeah, most of the times.
Yeah, and exactly. I wouldn't expect a man to handle something the same way a woman would. I think there's some things that are collinear as human beings, but then there's some things that are very specific and gender specific, especially if you live in the normal, like the gender norms, the normal ones, your cis-het, your cis-com. There's a way you express yourself specifically. So there's a way you cannot, use that method that the other person is expressing to express yourself and help yourself. So that's why I'm saying it's a huge thing. I wish they would then go more actively to find out what helps them, rather than just managing, clamping, getting by, sublimating, compartmentalizing. Because I think those are the solutions that they're now forced into, especially because they're not able to take charge of their own space the way the women are. Because the women were going to take charge because we're dying. we're dying. So we must take charge. But for the men, because they're viewed a specific way, especially here in Kenya, where the society is more traditional and more slanted towards a certain definition of how a man should be. So it really now sticks them in that box, in that corner, where they cannot find all these solutions to help themselves. Where even if someone was to come out and say, like, let's look for male specific solutions, it would have such a pushback. So yeah, it's something they need to take charge of. And at the rates that, they're also now committing suicide, doing other things, expressing their aggression towards other people and even towards the other gender, it needs to be addressed immediately.
Okay. Jel, she said something about male finding solutions to their problems. And most of the time, what you do is compartmentalize your issues. Is there a way in which you think that men can find solutions to their problems without having to compartmentalize them or avoid dealing with them?
As men, I think we are solution oriented. If you give me a problem, the first thing I'm thinking of is a solution. But for women, it's different. Sometimes you just want to be heard. For men, nothing like that. And we've been raised like, kuwa mwanaume, be a man. That means a lot of things. That means you cannot cry, you cannot show weakness, you can't even show it to other men. Yeah. So we don't complain about that. We are okay with that. We are okay with that. Now the problem comes when now women start talking about it.
So when women start talking about men's mental health, that's where the problem
it becomes
comes
a problem. Yeah.
Why does it become?
Because women, the biggest motivator for men is women. So that we cannot change. We cannot look at women the same way we look at another man. And if that is a method to measure what a man is, then you cannot be the one telling me how a man I am. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work like that.
I'd rather destroy kila kitu basi.
Burn it all down.
Yeah. So men deal with problems different than women. Women can talk and actually solve issues.
Yeah.
Men, unless it's business, it's for the benefit of women, we can sit and talk. If it benefits women that I care about, I might take some time to listen.
But you're not going to take time to talk about your own problems?
No. I might talk generally about other people.
Lakini mashida yako hapana.
Mimi, muniguachane for that.
That's where you draw the line.
Well, I told you, like, also here we're very heavily slanted on what a man should be. So for him, that's the environment. And by the way, I have many men in my lives. I don't think I've ever seen my partner cry. And I've known that guy for a long time. I have never seen him cry. So it's literally the way they were socialized, and like the way we were socialized as women, which was more traditional, like share your problems, do what. So we are a bit more flexible in how we will quote unquote problem solve. So that helps us adapt also sometimes to mental issues, because mental issues, they'll not just have a instant solution. The way sometimes maybe if you bring an issue, like me, if I bring an issue to my partner, he will want like instant solution, what we are doing now and what will resolve it now. But sometimes a mental issue takes, playing around with things and whatnot, and that's not something that they have really been schooled in, and it's something frustrating if you are more of, you need the solution now and you need to continue. So I would say that's also an issue contributing to men's mental health.
Another problem I can think of, based on just what you're saying, is people who are leading this conversation on mental health for men are actually women. That is a big problem. And then you're trying to use the methods that work for women on men.
Yes, I think I can shed a bit of light there. When the field of gynecology was coming out, and I would say childbirth is primarily a woman-oriented thing because it's a physical, biological thing. Men invented things like chainsaws to help women for childbirth, and were coming up with other male-oriented solutions for childbirth. Maybe for some of them it was like, born out of my wife has died, whatnot, at that time when they were doing all those medical investigations and whatnot. So over time, as women have gotten more involved in the gynecological field, is when we're seeing better outcomes, maternal and child outcomes, and issues that are doing to do with our bodies being solved there. But then again, we cannot discredit all the other interventions that that men came up with. CS was one. It was also contributed to by men, and right now, women who would have otherwise died or not been able to deliver naturally, that's an option for them to also become a mom. So just the same way, you will find women, maybe they are now leading this. They're trying to lead this intervention for men because they're seeing the men in their lives are suffering, or the rise in femicide. They've had someone who has been killed by someone else, and then a man, or intimate partner violence as well. There are some friends of mine I know who they are domestic violence survivors, and for them it's really something that's touched them to the point where they need to know, like, what happened to this partner of mine? They didn't start like that. And how can I help them? So you'll find those ones who they are personally affected, they're trying to lead because they also want a solution. Because for them, I would say they're heterosexual and whatnot, as much as they are invested in their male relationships, just the way the men are invested with probably their female relationships. So they don't see themselves without having those men in their lives. So they need a solution for those men to deal with those mental health issues so that they can have healthier relationships. So that's where you'll find a lot of the women coming from. Either they have been traumatized by someone who was ill at that time and who was a man, or faced violence, or they're seeing someone who they know and love suffering from that issue. So that's coming from the
but probably
the
not. What I know with the society and women, you only care about you. Women care about mental health of men nowadays because it's starting to affect them. Some of these people who are affected, either their husbands ama their children. Kama haingefika hapo, deal na shida zako.
I would say that's more of a human nature thing than a specific female thing, because a lot of human beings are only interested in things that only affect them. I'll give an example. Even in politics, as we were coming, people would not be interested in some economic policies of some distant country unless it was going to affect your country. Like, let's say how people are invested in the US elections right now, because a lot of their foreign policy affects aid, whatnot, that they give other countries. But Kenya, they're having their new president. You don't really give them anything. Do you think they're even invested to know where you are on the map in the world?
That might be true to some extent.
And that is part of human nature. And that's also partly why I went into psychology, to find, like, what is the difference between what is human nature standard, what is for women, what is for men, because the brain functions so differently, and the social patterns for both and everyone where they meet is so different. And that's actually what's bringing, like, the clash and war of sexes, because people are not able to recognize what is human behavior baseline and what is assigned as women and men.
I think men and women are more similar than different.
Yeah.
You were saying you don't believe that men only do things that benefit other people.
Majority of men actually do things do a lot of things for the general good of everyone.
So they don't look whether it's benefiting them or not.
Of course, they have to benefit first as them, but the general direction is helping everyone.
Lakini wanawake ni wajisaidie kwanza.
ile siku kiatu yake inafinya ndo kila mtu achange viatu sasa.
I would say yes and no. We're kind of like how you're raised again and socialized, that you are more of, unless some things are changing, especially in the cities. But for us, the lesson was more like the family first before you. That is why you'll find mom atakuwa amechapa sana, but the children look okay. The whatnot is going on, and that's by the family I grew up in. That was the message I was getting. Like parents wanajinyima ndo watoto wapate, and it's the same thing I do with my children. If I'm looking good, just know my children are looking better. But other times I may be looking worse for wear, but you will not find my children lacking, because that is the message I have gotten across from many women who have participated in my upbringing. Because you have to sacrifice, even if it means the money, whatnot. Ulikuwa na pesa ya salon, mtoto hana hii, that. But I do see some of those changes happening in the recent structures of families and whatnot, and the prioritization of self and all that happening, bringing about these changes where me first, even before the children. But I will tell you that a lot of women, that is not how we were raised in family. Family, it used to be watoto na bwana kazi. In fact, the structure, even the memes, you cannot serve before your dad has served. Actually, that used to be a thing. You can't serve dad first, watoto, then you as the woman. So I would disagree with that, because that one is very much alive. It is still alive. You will find it even with, especially with women who are invested in having a family, staying with a family, going more of the traditional route than the modern route. You'll find they prioritize their family first before anything else.
Okay.
Do you want my opinion on that?
Yeah, sure.
I think that order works. Father, mother, children, everybody else. That order has been proven to work for many years. That is the only order that has been proven to work. The new one, it's failing in the testing. It's being tested and it's already failing. So why would you reject what has been working for years? I had never been to Europe before my life. When I went there, when it comes to family, same order. Father, mother, children. It works. No one complains. But now we have imported a new culture.
Individualism.
Yeah, which we were talking before.
Yeah.
I think it's individualism is the worst, is the destroyer of everything. When men and women come together, magic is built.
And community.
But everything else is starting to put... You're being split from your parents, from your siblings, at a very younger age. Like at this moment, I think when you go to high school, you're already out.
When you get into boarding.
When you get into boarding school, you're out.
Yeah.
When you're done with high school, ile bedroom yako is no longer a bedroom. Ishageuzwa ofisi. Imekuwa studio ama. Your bed is gone. That means you need to go.
To move out.
You need to go. And then when you got not single in uni, that's the end.
But everyone pretends that that's the new order, especially women. I think you should listen to men a little bit more, because men tend to be conservative. We tend to want things the way they want. Men still want the same things from relationships, from family, from women. The same things my grandfather wanted from women, from life. It's the same things I want.
But for women,
it's completely different.
Now,
you want things for you.
Sometimes I would say, like, now where a bit of the challenge comes in from the woman's part, especially the younger women, is they will be approached. Yes, you want the same things, but the same effort is not put in. You want me to bear your children. Well, did you know at your grandpa's time, before he could do that, he had to marry the person. Yet that is not something that they want to levy. The thing is, you want me to be homemaking and based. At that time, your grandpa had that one job. It could feed everyone, take them even to university, whatnot. Your grandma did not need to ask for any money. He would just put it there, and she would decide what to do for the household. Nowadays, you're like, no, it's equal opportunity. Go to work too. Also, look,
So you're saying
support
as the
yourself.
culture is changing,
Yeah,
also
Yeah,
the women
but
are
it's-
the
changing
men are
the
changing
culture.
as well.
It's
So
the
you
women. It's the women who demanded this equal stuff.
and as it
Not all of us
Everything
want
was
the
just-
equality.
we found
everything
Some of
was
us want
just
to
fine.
be dependent.
No,
Some of
no,
us
no,
want
no,
to be
I'm
dependent on
I'm
men.
talking in general. We were just chilling. Then women wakasema, we also want to go to work. Now,
and
if
that's
I have
why
a job,
I have a
Mhm.
conspiracy.
if I have
theory
a
about
job,
that.
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden,
Mhm.
there's 10 people who want the same job.
Mhm.
And Tawambia now, I will not pay you 10,000.
Mhm.
I'll pay you 5,000, like all of you. And they will be like, yeah, it's better than nothing.
So you're saying, when the women introduce that culture of they want to go to work, they want to provide, that's where at an employment ilianzia.
There is a relationship between women working and being empowered, not stress levels, not depression levels. We can see these things are related. Why don't we address this one?
Stress
When the
levels
father
and
was
depression
everything,
levels, sure.
life was easy.
Life-
A police officer, na mshahara ya police mmoja, regular police, feeds, see a family, village, akona like the wife's family.
Yes, secret family.
They also come there. Anasomesha uncles, anasomesha nane. He's like one job. Teachers used to be like the wealthiest people in the community, right?
Yeah.
Everyone wanted to look up to teachers because they had done everything right. But now when we have fewer jobs and too many qualified people, and they're all divided,
You have gotten
you
the
pay
point.
everyone low.
You've gotten the point, but then you've also speeded past it. That's why I said I have some conspiracy. Remember I was telling you about capitalism? What does capitalism want? Cheap labor with and maximum profits.
Yeah.
So are very few people benefiting from the system. How do they do that? By getting the most number of people out of the household into the domestic.
I am
market.
sure men protested
So
this.
yes,
I'm
no,
sure
and
they
that's
did.
why I said there's a
Hawakusikizwa.
conspiracy. I'm a bit of a conspiracy. So when they do that, then it works in their favor. When you do say like, they'll be like, yeah, these women, but they're the same ones to pass laws that are unfriendly to having daycare, to having kids, to having what. They're the same ones who will promote, kind of almost eugenics, kind of like have the kids you can afford, and if you're not doing that, you're failing. Like they're the ones who will promote that underlying, but at the same time they'll be like, these women, they are the same cause. So there's an intersectionality about the economic condition, what women were told would be equity but were sold short, and the policies that are being put in place silently when people are not aware. They're more focused on the social, isn't like the women are doing wrong. They're doing wrong, but that is done on purpose. So I would say like you need to really comb with a fine-tooth comb, because then you will find that a lot of these women, like me personally, okay, look, yes, I've been educated, I've been what, but if I had the chance to stay home and stay with my kids, and I've always been a domestic kind of soul, but if I had that assurity that probably I can stay home, we maintain the same lifestyle, we maintain the same money, and I maintain the same respect in the relationship that we've had and whatnot, and there are things put to safeguard me that were put there for like my grandma or whatnot, like no other woman is going to come and sit me, no secret rule, all those things, I would be home.
Exactly.
I would be home.
Now this is my exciting point here. Now you have touched home. Women don't like to work.
True.
Women do not like to work. You are told that you need to work. You ukaonyeshwa a few people, a few women who are successful from working. Ukaambiwa, if you do this, you'll be like her.
No, actually, I'd want to say
that has been a big lie to the society that we live now. Like, okay, you're a very highly educated woman, right? How long do you want to work? How long would you intend to work?
No, if I find something that I love and I'm currently pursuing, till the day I die. You see, the issue with me...
Majority of women, if you ask a man the same question, if I find a job that I like, no, I got to come here. He'll be like, yeah, I ride until I die. It does not matter which kind of job. But for women, it's kind of it's almost an option.
Yeah.
It's almost something you choose to do.
It's something you need to do because of the current situation, but it's something that I would like to do with meaning. And I'm getting for you, I get what you're saying. For men, it's like we got the job, it's the income, it's what we're doing. If I'm passionate about it, great. If I'm not,
Still
like
great.
this is we are still great, we're still going.
Mm.
But you see, for women, I have to, like, the more passionate, the more caring. And I think it's also a leftover from us also now being in the homestead. The better I do the job. So I would say, like, there are some women, yes, they want to work. They have a lot to contribute. Some of the best discoveries at NASA were done by women who really wanted to work and they had the brain, but they really had to fight to work and leave that legacy there and whatnot. So those are women who are meant to work. But I would like it to be optional, not the way it's so forced that, now that we're in this age where we go, everybody go and everybody do. We're now the same. It's not possible to be the same. I'm more of equitable than equality.
I was introduced to equality of genders since I was born.
So unasema 50-50
kwa class ilikuwa imeandikwa men, boys and girls are, and you actually have to say it every morning.
That's where the problem started.
I have a question. Samantha said something about, she said kama angepewa ile security, social security her grandparents or her grandmother was given to be a stay-at-home or a domestic like housewife, if we can put it that way, should do it. Do you think that the reason us women want to work and be independent is because of men's new and unacceptable behavior?
No. I think women want work because you want to work.
Okay.
I have a question.
Think about this. If a man is wealthy enough, rich enough, which is something very new. Okay, people have been wealthy and women have been married to wealthy families. But it's still the same. It's not getting married to a wealthy family. It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. And it's not for every woman. Tafadhali. Kuko na levels kwa hii game. Kuko na levels kwa hii game. Ukijua from, and women, you should know, by the time you're 15 years, by the time you're 15 years as a woman, you know where you are level when it comes to attractiveness. You know. By the time you're like, ukiingia high school, you already know, niko hapo ama siko. If you're a model, everyone will tell you, they're the ones who will tell you you're a model. You will not ask people.
Am I a model?
What is happening today? Every woman thinks they're a model.
I would say, okay, now that's why I said you've intersection, like there's levels, like that's why I literally went back to study psychology, because some of these things were confusing me. So you've already brought up what is also influenced by the social norms, the movement of equality versus equity, because equality, two things cannot be equal, but equity is making things adaptable and fairable according to
which
everybody.
Has never worked.
Yeah, which has never worked because people don't want
equality.
Equity can never
Most
work.
people want now equality, which is also not possible.
Equity means that I go to work for 8 hours and someone, because they were sick, they can work for 4 hours. But at the end of the day,
you're getting the same amount of money.
No,
not in my
equality.
world.
No, that is equality. Equity is actually you go to work 6 hours a day, you work for 6 hours a day, is valued, you are paid. The one who went for 4 hours is then given their designation for 4-hour work, paid that, but at the same time, if they're disabled or whatnot, there's a way for them to still work.
For my
so
work,
that is equity. Equality would be that one you're going the 6 hours, they're going the 4 hours, you're paid the same. That is equality.
Which those things
doesn't work.
Those things only work where men and women work together. Maybe men and women should not work together.
So unasema kuna kwa na kampuni za wanawake.
Team ya ball ya wanaume ikicheza na timu nyingine ya wanaume. Rules ni gani?
Rules ni the same.
No.
Funga bao ama penalty, kila mtu aende home. We know the winner. Now put up team ya madem na the men. Kutakuwa na too many rules.
Yeah.
Just to achieve some sort of equity, fairness, nini.
Talking about the team for boys and men, I have a question. There's a meme that was going around where men don't call out bad behaviors on their male friends. And I had a conversation with somebody who was like, kama ni beshte yangu inanihusu aje. So I have a question for you, Joel. As a man, would you call out a man friend of yours who is like a pedophile, who is like an abuser? Would you call them out if you knew their behaviors?
Wacha nakwambie, the people who are being held accountable, even in the government leadership level, is it men or women?
Men.
It's men. And who holds them accountable? More?
Men.
Other men. Like, look at Gen Zs. Gen Zs held the president accountable.
Okay.
The president would have been a woman. Do you think we're going to protests?
I don't know. You don't know.
Wangesema,
It's
she
the
will
real-
understand.
it's the
Wacha
real
ishe.
time of the man.
It's
Wacha
the realm
amalize.
of hypothesis.
Men are being held to standard every day. Sai nikikosa,
And you know-
sai if I marry a woman na nikose kulipa rent, I'll be on tuko talks, nitakuwa nikiongelelewa huko.
But at the same time, it doesn't stop those men from, still going ahead with the bad behavior. So I will say this, the men holding men accountable and the most of the people being held accountable being men, it is because if you look at the statistics, who are the main perpetrators
Men.
of this? Yes. Who are the main repeat offenders?
Men.
So then, wouldn't it then say that, not that women can't do, they can bogey, but wouldn't it then make sense that they are the ones who are the most called out because they're the most perpetrators? How do you? It's like going somewhere and trying to catch going to a colony of cats and saying like, where is there one dog? There, it's a colony of cats. You came there.
No. I think there's something that society is doing to men, which is made normal. Lakini we all know. I have hung out with women. I hang out na women. I know how they think. I even know some secrets. Zile men will never know. For example, when you see a man and a woman arguing, who has caused it most likely? Mama. Did you say that in your statement? Perpetrator inamaanisha nini?
When I was talking about the perpetrators, I was talking about physical violence because she brought up pedophilia and whatnot. So those ones are different.
Hiyo ni results za mwisho.
Sawa. Why are you resorting to violence as a solution?
Men resort to violence even with other men. We are just animals. Ushaona simba mbona iko na meno kubwa, the male lion. It has it's larger. It has bigger fangs, bigger teeth easy. It's threatening even to look at. Why? And Simba is the king of the jungle. Who is the enemy of a lion then? Why does it need all this if it's the king? What is the enemy of a lion? It's another lion.
Okay.
Another lion, your enemy, a lion. A lion can sleep all day. Kitu tu isipite karibu ni another male lion. Lakini hizi zote zitahepa because they wanajua hatutatoboa. So another lion ndio threat yake. And they have all these things to protect who? Themselves? No, to protect others. Now, if that other one ndo inaleta shida, which in many houses, I have been married before, in many houses, the woman though anakuanga cause a problem. The woman we work all these things. I mean, angalia men, we work more than 12 hours. Sijui kama mnajuanga hiyo. Men work more than 12 hours. Most overtime kwa hii Kenya inafanywa na men ama women? Men. Most dangerous jobs zinafanywa na men ama women?
And who created that system?
No. It's a choice.
I'm just asking. No, it's out of interest. Who created that system?
Still men.
Because women didn't do nothing.
No, and then now they want to complain about the system.
No. When we were creating system, were you not at home?
No, we were told.
You're being brought up to take care of the families.
But then when
you take care of what your husband needs.
If I leave you to make a choice whether to go to work, to go to war, Kenya iko Haiti, right?
Who starts most of those wars?
Choose whether you go to Haiti to fight for the country, ama raise the children of those who wameenda Haiti. Which one would you choose? Don't you think that's the same thing women wa kitambo wali choose?
No, but I'm bringing up the generation because ukienda Haiti uende ukufe, who is going to bring up the generation?
And also,
so you like staying at home.
No, just to say,
I like the simpler choice.
Exactly. So accept what the consequences are. Your simpler life.
That is so oversimplifying so many things, and it's even a disservice to the Mau Mau, because if you dig into their history, the women were also there, front and center, helping. not only with the children, but even with the wounded and all of that. And that's why I'm like, people are also not aware of their history. How did we come up with Red Cross and this all IRC? Florence Nightingale being there, front lines with soldiers, where bombs are being dropped, whatnot, taking care of the sick. That's how also the nursing profession
we know that.
came
We
up.
know all that.
So
there's
you cannot say that women are not
in the
also
world
there
today.
with that.
There's actually active war regions.
And who started
Kukona,
those wars?
Ukraine. Do you know where Ukrainian women went to?
Who started the war? Let's start with who started the war.
War
Who
ikitokea.
started most of these wars? When you listen,
we don't ask
the people who say
who is
the
dying
people
for the
who go
country.
there and announce that we are now launching war. Most likely, who is there? Who is presenting?
So should we choose like more
No,
women?
I'm just asking. I'm just asking. You know me. I'm not
Should
saying.
we get a Kamala
I'm not
Harris for
saying
Kenya?
that. No, me. I didn't say
But
that.
that's a question.
I'm just asking. Who is starting the wars?
Okay, men started the wars. Then he
and
asked you
who
a
is
question.
continuing the wars?
So you're saying
and
if
who-
Kamala gets into presidency,
who
was
has
it
So
the
if
stop?
Kamala-
power to
If-
sit down
if Kamala
and broker
Harris-
peace?
Okay, now
If Kamala Harris gets elected as a
you're
president
telling
for
me war in
USA,
US Italia.
there
No,
will be no war in the world.
no, because already it has been an established thing. The US are warmongers. Doesn't matter who is at the head,
No, I'm just
but
asking.
war is their business.
But then that's a
And
culture that has
is
been
a
there.
culture there, but it is not the
War
culture
has
of
been
the
a
rest of the the
war
world.
has been a culture of all humanity.
Yes,
People
but
have
who
died
starts
in
the
war more
wars?
than anything else.
Who
Then-
starts the wars? Who continues the
Even
wars?
Africans
Who
without
fight
the
in the
influence
war?
of the white person, we were
Mhm.
still killing each other like hell.
Yes, and that's why I want to bring it back to:
Mhm.
is it the women who tell the men, stand up, we go fight this war?
Women
because-
choose the simpler option.
And why
Because
then?
first of all, you're genetically not built for that.
Okay, then you're starting the war. Then you want to cry about the war and tell us
We are
we'll
not crying about
join
the war.
but you guys, we won't join the war because we're women. We didn't start the war.
I am not a warrior. I have
Why
not started
are we
any wars.
starting- Why are we joining
Maybe I'm
the
not in the
war?
forces. I have not started any
Yeah,
wars.
if
Lakini
we didn't
if
start-
Kenya,
Mhm.
which means the people in Kenya,
Uh-huh.
gets attacked Saina, Uganda.
Mhm.
Do you think I will stand there and wait?
No?
I'm not a skilled warrior.
Mm.
Lakini out of nowhere you'll see the warrior in me. Now all these men around here.
Mm.
No, hautaulizwa kama unajua kutumia bunduki.
Mm.
Utapewa shika twende. Will they complain?
No.
Some
Now,
of them will.
We will, because we have
Some
never
of them
been.
will, and some of them will even desert and run. And that's why I'm telling you, there's a lot happening now that's changing. Even if you talk to younger men and whatnot, and with that individualism rise, they'll be like, "Why should I die for you?"
I think I can answer that. Do you know why men are changing? Because men are not brought up the same way men are supposed to be brought up. Now we all know what makes a man. As a man, I know. Now women have taken it onto themselves to raise men.
Let me ask you.
How does a woman raise a man?
No, that's it. Let me ask you. These men, where are their dads? Because they
We should
need a
ask their
man.
mothers.
No, and then
We
when you
should
ask
ask their
their
mothers,
mothers,
yes.
and their mothers are able to show their dads, and their dads are like, "That's not my child." Wafanye nini? They drop the child there and run
Do you
away
know
because
that
it's a
one?
man.
Do you know that? Do you know that 1 in 3 children in Kenya,
Mm.
tukienda kwa DNA,
Mm.
utapata baba si ule anaambiwa ni baba.
Yes.
So mbona mimi niseme tu?
Na
"That's
nani,
my son." Yes,
nani
nimlete.
alipiga huyo mwanamke a goal? If they are about their fellow men, how did that woman get pregnant?
Let me ask
If
you a
you're
question.
for your fellow man,
Let me ask you a question. For sex to happen, there's only one person who has to make it happen. Ule lazima aseme yes. Who is that?
So are we be getting blamed for getting pregnant because
No,
we are
no,
the
no,
ones
I'm
who
just
give
saying.
I didn't
consent?
know
I'm
we.
just saying.
I didn't know we
Women
produce
women are
sperm
the
to-
gatekeepers. Women are the gatekeepers of sex. If you go and buy sperm kutoka kwa sperm donors,
Mhm.
no one will blame you for anything. Mtoto si wako ama ni wako. Hakuna mtu atajitokeza ati, "Yeah, I think I have a
Yes, but
feeling."
then again, why are you? You know this woman is married because again, married women wanajiuza so many times.
Mhm.
Go and pick your fellow man a goal, and you're here talking men's rights, men's mental health. Yet you're failing to protect this institution for this man, your fellow man. Look out for him, and building that, the brotherhood you need. Mbona uende upige mwanaume mwenzako goal na mtoto na unyamaze? Cause a lot of these cases, and I'm even from settling one,
Yeah.
the best man, the best friend. It's even worse than if it was a stranger.
Wait, the best friend ameweka mimba ya. Wait, the best man ameweka.
But that's
hapo kwa kanisa ukisema I am there for my brother. I will uphold this marriage.
No. That has been happening.
Is there something we even like a brocode? Dama inakwanga tu rumor.
Brocode inabomolewa na this younger generation. Because this younger generation, mtu ana joke na kusema ati umegongewa. What is that?
But if they are breaking it means that the people who are there before them did not teach them how to act.
No, the problem with Gen Z, tukubaliane to let's take it, let's tukubali. I am a millennial. We are almost the same na Gen Z. We have the same problems. Gen Zs, they are much more vocal. But all ideas as a Gen Zs, we had them, but we are a bit scared. Gen Z hawajali. They speak. Shida ni our generation, na generation that now is Gen Z. There are no men raising these people.
So where are the men?
There are no men raising these people.
Where are the men?
Now, if for at least 60 to 70% of relationships in Arabica, it's a woman who actually initiates it. Yeah.
Okay, as
men don't leave.
A woman has initiated will not.
A broken family is broken because a woman left, not because a man left. A man who has left. A man who has left. Amechujo.
Let's give you some perspective.
Dem mwanaume haizi choose ati niende nitafute tena nyumba nyingine niishi. It's very hard kupata nyumba.
I don't know
okay,
who
for
had
the
you,
women
but
who are
let's
living,
give you a perspective.
Just a minute. For the women who are living, you cannot tell me this man is providing and doing everything, but he's violent. But you want me to stay in that relationship? Domestic
violence, the percentage of domestic violence, it's not the leading cause of breakage of family.
What is the leading cause?
It's actually, I think, number 4.
What is the leading cause?
Violence, unataka kuniambia, out of 100 houses, how many watu wako violent? The man is violent? How many? Very few. It's not the leading cause. The leading cause ya breakage of family in Kenya.
Breakage of
First, finances.
Then why not have the financial discussion before you get married?
Or even have a kid.
Tell us, how do you choose men? You women. Mnachoose aje mwanaume?
Very well.
Tell us.
Very well, because the
financially stable.
I chose is working out.
Sasa hiyo financially stable tena inatokea wapi kama the leading cause of divorce?
Because a lot of people don't have, I have friends of mine who don't have that conversation of financial stability. Like, he's cute, he's tall,
he's giving me the
handsome, he's 6'1",
but pia,
he lives in a 2-bedroom house.
Just to be fair, pia, madam, you're taking it too far.
What do you mean by it?
A woman should be married between age gani na gani?
Like
19 to 25.
19?
Wait. We're crossing into dangerous territory.
No.
And
we're Kenyans.
Let's go there.
I am not talking for international audience.
Kenya. You're saying someone's supposed to be married at 19 years old.
Come on. I have sisters.
What do you know about marriage at 19 years old?
I have sisters who are married. Hata results jarudi.
Time out hapo. Sasa conversation imekuwa nyinyi wawili.
So,
as a married person, the only married person between you two.
Ouch.
Let me tell you something. Number 1, breakages, sijui of marriages, what not. It's not even sijui finances. It's infidelity.
No, not in Kenya.
No, relax. And that's why I said it's my time now. Okay. My sisters are lawyers. One of them divorce lawyer. She can give you stats of how many cases she goes through and how many are infidelity and how many are for the men and how many are for the women. So me, I'm not just speaking generalizing. I'm speaking based on data I have seen. Number 2, this thing of marrying women who are between 19 and 25. Even your good man, Benjamin Zulu, had more common sense to tell you, leave a woman alone between those ages. Why? Her frontal lobe has not developed. In fact, and then you find, you find later on, they're the ones who cause the most drama and divorce and separate the family epically.
I will never agree
You'll never agree with that.
Never.
And you know why? Because they have also started doing psychological studies. The person you will have married at 19, trust me, by 26, her brain will have fully formed and she'll have woken up and she'll be so much more
history.
Number 3, the thing about how are you choosing your men and whatnot? You don't blanket them. I can easily say for the men, where the women are crazy, how are you choosing your women? Human nature, subjective. Everyone has their own qualities. For me, I looked for a friend, someone who was more on the mental wavelength. I was not exactly looking rich, but I'm not going to do the size 8 trial. If you know, you know. And I was looking, and number one, I prioritized was monogamy. And someone who had gone through something similar to infidelity, that they know that they prize monogamy. Like for them, it is a main thing. So someone who's already gone through something like that and knows that it's nothing that they don't want to go through that infidelity again. And also someone who would settle down, Christian values, all of that. So as I was going to date, for me, it's different because other people, I find like, yeah, they want the feels, whatnot. And that's initially how I used to date. But then when you're looking for a life partner, you have to be a bit more practical. You have to look, because after the romance fades, you have to be left with that friend. Marriage is hard. And you're always given a reason every hour, every minute to leave that marriage. So you need so many more reasons to stay. And not only the woman, even the man. Even the man is given so many reasons to run away from that marriage. So if you're not more pragmatic and building that friendship first, and you're going on the romance, the feels, all of that, that is how you find dissolution of the relationship. Then finally, one thing I know, if today I'm to leave my husband, he leaves me, he will leave me, but he will never leave his kids. And I have seen so many men, and I want to shout out to them, who the woman is difficult as hell. But one thing they have said...
You're going strong.
Yeah.
One thing they have said, they will not leave the kid. And that is not the case for all the men. The men, they will be like, oh, the woman is difficult as hell, whatnot. And you will show them these examples. And they will keep quiet because them, they want that relationship for the child at their convenience, easy. It's easier to even blame the woman. But trust me, the Kenyan court systems, they have updated laws. Go and look at them, family laws. Your rights are now protected, men. If you're on the birth certificate, or even if you suspect that is your child, if she is not listening to you, what is stopping you from going to family court? I have supported so many of my friends to go to family court because of their baby mamas. And right now they are enjoying access to their children. They are parenting their children. So it is a choice for you to leave that child behind because the other parent is being difficult. That is a choice you have made before.